In this video, we will look at Autumn Pricing. Autumn Pricing is a service which sits between your app and Stripe, and it acts as the source of truth for everything payments related. So if you don't like to use Stripe, which I won't blame you for that, it's actually a very horrendous experience to just use Stripe. You can actually use Autumn, which actually integrates really well with Stripe. It will store all the payment related info about your customers, and it also has some really handy features such as usage based pricing and features. And it's still Stripe running under the hood. Autumn acts like a driver for your Stripe instance, and it's really cool. And Autumn also integrates really well with things like Betterauth. So you're gonna have a really amazing developer experience. Autumn is also open source. If you don't like to use the cloud, you can feel free to self-host it as well. So yeah, let's get started. Alright, so we are at the Autumn homepage. It says it's backed by Y Combinator. We made Stripe easy. Stripe payments, usage tracking, and getting in 3 functions, 0 webhooks. Build your app's pricing fast and let it scale for you. They don't use webhooks, which is really interesting, and they claim that they are the source of truth for anything payment related. So you don't really need to deal with webhooks at all, and which is a really amazing experience, because like webhooks are always a pain in the bunголio to deal with. I really never want to deal with it, to be honest. If we go ahead and start for free, you will be asked to log in. I'm already logged in. And if you're doing this for the first time, you will be asked to enter your Stripe private key. Why is that? Is this suspicious? No. As I said in the starting of the video, it acts like a driver for your Stripe instance. So you need to provide it your Stripe private key so that it can actually set everything up and it can use your account for all things payment. So that's really fine. You can enter your Stripe private key, and if you don't want to, you can simply self-host Autumn at this point. It doesn't really matter. So yeah, then we see a lot of different things here. We see product, features, rewards, customers, analytics, developer API keys, and we also see Stripe settings. So basically you can enter your Stripe secret key here as well. And yeah, if you don't have it connected, you can do that. And you have 2 options. You can go to production or you can use sandbox. Tutorial purposes, of course, you're going to use sandbox, and I already have this connected, and that's why it wasn't showing that I had it connected, because in production I don't have it connected. In success URL, you can change this to localhost or whatever you are using, but it can be overridden through the SDK itself, so it's not really that big of a deal. Now if you go to products, you can see there's a free plan which is default, and you can actually go ahead and create new products as well. But there are 2 new things here which might be new to you. There is features and there's rewards. So I'm gonna try to explain this in a better way to you. So let me just open Excalidraw and I will try to show you. So imagine that you have a customer, and a customer, let me just say customer, and a customer can have a plan, right? So this is a plan. So imagine something like Cursor, right? Cursor has a $20 plan, and it enables a lot of different things for you. So it's not just like the agent edits, right? It's not just the chat aspect of site that it allows you. It gives you somewhat like $20 of usage. So 20 usage, and the next thing we get is we also get tab model, right? Tab model completions, and what else do we get? We get the access to any model except any model that's not auto. So this plan has these 3 things, right? So you can typically say, what are these 3 things here, right here? In relation to this plan, what are these 3 things? These are features, right? So in Autumn, what you can do is you can create these features before a plan, and you can have multiple different plans that support these features. So if I just created a new plan, so if I just created a new ultra plan, or I guess say nerfed plan, I'm just gonna call it nerfed, which is supposed to have just the tab model. So this will only have the tab model, right? I had the arrow incorrect, but you get the point. So this plan only has 1 feature. You see that these features are very common, and in your app it's probably going to be the same thing, right? Your app has a bunch of features. Some are going to be free and some are going to be paid, and some are only going to be available to some plans. So you might want to have some features to be available to the free plan. You want to have some features available to pro plan, and you want to have limits to those, right? So that like previously in Cursor, you only had 500 requests, and anything above that would be usage based pricing. You can also set up something like that in Autumn. And I just wanted to show you this quickly so that you understand just beforehand like what plans exactly are and what features exactly are, so that the next steps would be very easier for us. So yeah, let's get started. I'm gonna go back to Autumn. Was it the correct tab? Yeah, it doesn't matter. I guess both are the same. And now before creating a product, which is basically a plan, I'm gonna go ahead and create a new feature. And we are not going to cover credit system here. You can explore that, but I just want to cover the very basics of Autumn. So I'm going to create a new feature. Now these can be two things. For example, Boolean can be something like just dark mode. So if you are a person, if you are evil, you probably would charge for something like dark mode. So you can create that feature. You can assign this to free as well. Okay, so this already exists. So because I actually created and deleted it before. So what should I name it? I'm gonna just say themes. So I'm just gonna create this. So if you can also give access to themes to the free plan. Nobody's stopping you from that. It's just that this is a feature and we're just defining the features of your application right now. First feature is themes. You don't have to be so granular with your features. This is just for a tutorial, so that's why. The next feature we want to select is a metered one. I want to count for all the premium API requests, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say single because we want these to expire every single month. So you can read this: features that are consumed and are refilled like credits or tokens, and for continuous features used on an ongoing basis like seats or storage. So if you are a Google, so for continuous, we can take an example of Google Drive. It can still ask for subscription fees, but it won't increase that every single month for you, right? It's going to be the same. You're just paying for to maintain that storage. So in single, you can have like something like API calls. I'm going to say premium API calls, and it automatically creates an ID for you, and I'm going to create. Now notice that we haven't yet priced this. These are just features, and we can now go ahead into products and we can actually start doing that. So if you want, you can actually give free plan some of these things. So you can give free plan some kind of premium stuff. So I can go into feature, I can go into premium API calls and do all of that stuff. Intended usage per month, I can just do included usage to be 5, and if I just do that, they will get 5 premium API calls per month. The thing is that we don't want to do that, right? In Cursor, if you like use Cursor, you have, of course you have some stuff in free tier, but mostly if you want to use the premium models, you have to upgrade to Pro, and in that you will get some free usage, but you won't get that in free. So you can also do that. So I can create a new product. I'm gonna say this is the plus plan because I already had a Pro plan, and this should not be default. This should not be an add-on. I'm gonna create this, and here we can have different stuff. So you can actually create a price, and you can also have a feature. So here we are actually gonna select a price first, and first it says fixed price to charge for this product. Example $10 per month. Price per use or purchased quantity, 1 per credit. So we are gonna keep it to fix. I'm just gonna say we wanna have to like 1500 INR per month, and we can add a feature now, and we can add the premium API calls feature, and I'm just gonna say we are gonna have 500 per month. Perfect, right? But that does not count off any overages, right? So that's not something which we would be wanting. So I'm gonna delete this. I'm gonna create a new price. I'm gonna set it to variable and select premium. Actually, you know what? I should actually go and delete this as well. I'm gonna go ahead into price, variable, select a feature, premium API calls, and pricing. Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and add tiers. So from 0 to actually like 5 API calls, we want to charge 0, and from 5 to infinity, we wanna charge somewhere around 100 rupees per API call, and we can say per month. And you can have pay per use. So basically whenever somebody subscribes to this plan, they will have like they will need to actually go ahead and pay per the usage, and you can actually ask for upfront quantity so that they're gonna be charged for like whatever API credits they purchase beforehand. But in this case, we just need pay per use. So now this plan is essentially gonna be free, but they're gonna be needing to pay as per the usage, which will be automatically charged to them. You can also add a price and fixed price here. So I can just say 1500 to just subscribe to this. So I can simply just go ahead and add this. It's still gonna work. And I like the descriptions that they generate here, you know. So 5 premium API calls free, then 100 per premium API call per month. I like this really a lot. And then we have 1500 per month, which is the general product price. So what I'm assuming, I didn't actually use this before. This is just me doing it right now just to try it out. What I'm assuming right now, it's actually going to be charging 1500 per month. And actually after that, it's gonna like, this is going to be the base price of the plan. And this is also going to be active at the same time. So you're going to get 5 premium API calls for 1500, and after that you're going to be charging 100 rupees. The pricing does not make sense. We are doing this for a tutorial though. So if you are gonna go ahead and make some pricing, make it make sense, please. All right, you can go ahead and do some settings here. I'm just gonna go ahead and create the product, and product updated successfully. And now if you go back to a product, you will see that we have a free plan and we have the plus plan. Then in customers, I already did some testing, so I already have some customers here, but we probably should not be creating customers. So in this tutorial, we're actually gonna go ahead and integrate Automn with BetterAuth so that customers are already created for us whenever a new customer signs up to the website. If you don't want to use BetterAuth, don't use it. It's really like in this tutorial, you're gonna see it's not really that dependent on BetterAuth. It's gonna be very easy for you to set it up, everything. So let's get started with the code part. All right, so we are in our code base. I just want to give you a quick rundown of what's happening here. We are in a turbo repo, which is a mono repo of some sort where you can host multiple, like not host, but you can keep multiple apps in the same repository. So I have this apps folder and we have a server and a web. So server is obviously the backend and the web is obviously the front end. So the server is basically running a Hono server with TRPC, BetterAuth, and all of the good stuff. You can see the BetterAuth configuration file here. And the web is basically a React application. It's basically a Vite plus Tan Stack router type of combo, which is pretty amazing. And the first thing we need to do in the server is actually we need to go ahead and install the Automn SDK. So I'm going to do bun-i automn.js. So I'm going to do that. And I'm going to also install this in the front end because we need that. So automn.js. Perfect. This is installed. Now, the next thing we need to do is actually we need to pull the schema. What am I even talking about here? Do you know what I'm talking about? So let me show you what exactly I'm talking about. We are going to do bunx atmn pull. It says Automn uses Automn secret key. We need to log in. So atmn login. Oh, sorry. bunx atmn login. Copy the code to terminal. We are just gonna copy it and we are gonna paste this. Perfect. And sandbox and production can have these save to your .env file. Perfect. Now we can go ahead and simply just go clear this and we can go back and take a look at our env file. All right, so it just automatically added my secret key for my sandbox. It already actually added for my production as well, but I removed it because I didn't want to show that in this video. I'm actually gonna remove this because we don't even need this one because we are gonna play with the sandbox only. So this is our secret key. Don't try to use mine. I'm gonna rotate this anyways. So yeah, this is the secret key which we will be using for Automn. And we don't need to do anything with this. Like the next thing we need to actually do is go to auth.ts. Actually, you know what? We need to actually pull a schema, which we forgot to do. So we're gonna do bunx atmn pull. So what exactly we are doing here? I'll show you. So now it has created a new automn.config.ts file. And if you look at this, it has every single thing about our stuff. Like, you know, you can find every single thing. So it's gonna cry first, but you can actually go ahead and you can do bun-i atmn. I can just do right like this. It's gonna install. Now it's gonna stop crying. The thing is, now you have all of these things here. Now, why does it matter? Because you can actually use these in the application, but the another thing is that if you make some changes here, so I'm not gonna do anything, but if you change prices here, you can simply run the command bunx atmn push, and this will actually reflect in the sandbox environment. So yeah, this is how it works. So if you have a project where a lot of developers are working, you can actually go ahead and have this config file and they can quickly set up their test environment. This is actually really good. So setting up test environment in Stripe is really not the best experience. You have to create all the products. You have to update your environment keys in your application to reflect the product IDs. But here you have a file with all the IDs ready. You just need to press one command and it's going to actually push to your Stripe instance. And I don't know if this would be useful in your CI/CD pipeline. I wouldn't do that, but if it's intended to do that, if the team says that it's safe to do that, feel free to. Who am I to stop you? But yeah, this is how it works. I think the best use case for this is if you have many developers in your team. It's actually really game changer in that, I can already imagine. And yeah, the next thing we have is auth.ts. Now we can simply import Automn. So if import Automn from automn.js/betterauth. and we can simply use the plugin here. So I'm just gonna pass in plugins and pass in Autumn. No configuration needed at all. It's just gonna work out of the box. So we don't even need to touch the backend anymore. It's done. So if we go to our front end and if we go to our SRC, we need to go to routes and root. We actually need to wrap our application or provider. So we need to actually say Autumn provider, and we need to, oops, I need to cut this and paste this here. And we need to actually import Autumn provider. So this is the correct import path. And we need to pass in the better auth URL. So I'm going to do that right now. We're going to say HTTP localhost 3000, which is a backend URL, and it will automatically append /API/auth because it's as intelligent as better auth. So you don't need to worry about that at all. The next thing we have is our dashboard. Now here, this is crying because actually we need to start our dev server first of all. Then it's gonna stop doing all of that. Perfect. And now we actually need to go ahead and show you something. So here we can actually use a hook. So it's called as use customer. So const, I'm gonna open this and I'm gonna say use customer. And here you can have something like customer, and now you can simply go here and say p plan. I can simply say customer, not plan, but basically products dot map. Like typically you should only have one subscription per user, but if you have many, I'm just gonna do this because Cursor suggested me that. So yeah, the next thing you can have is a button to subscribe to your plans, right? Now, here's where Autumn comes in clutch. You do not need to create any buttons. Autumn already has something for you. We have pricing table. This is all you need. Autumn will handle everything else. This will show all the plans and features to your customers. So if you update any plan features, it will automatically reflect here. So what am I meaning with this? So let me just go to our thing. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna go to localhost 3001. I'm gonna, okay, it's actually, is the server running? No, it's not. So that's why it was not working properly. Okay, now if you go to sign in, I'm gonna actually register. So I'm gonna use this. Actually, I'm gonna use test 5. I don't know how many I have. So test.com. I'm gonna go ahead, copy, paste this and sign in. Perfect. Now we have this price in. It says we are on the free plan and we have these two things. You can actually style this better. I'm not really focusing this video on styling at all, but now we have the plus plan and you can actually go ahead and do that. But before that, I actually want to go ahead and change something here. I actually want to see if we can change the redirect URL here. It looks like we cannot. So we need to actually go ahead into Autumn and do that. So I thought there would be some override here because last time I actually didn't do that. So let's go to sandbox again, and I'm gonna go to Stripe, and I'm gonna just simply say HTTP localhost 3000/dashboard. Hopefully this works. Okay, successfully connected to Stripe. Now, if we go back and actually refresh this just in the case, and if I just click on upgrade, it's gonna take me to Stripe, and it's actually gonna give me here. It says plus, which is 1500. It's quantity 1, build monthly, and plus premium API calls. And it says first 5 used, 0 per unit per month. Sorry, 0 per unit, and it's anything above that, it's 100 per unit. So I can simply do something like 4 to 4 to 4 to 4 to 4 to the regular Stripe stuff. And I can click on subscribe. It's gonna take some time, and it's hopefully should take us back to our dashboard. So let's wait for that. Perfect. It says 404 not found. Okay, it should be 3001. My bad. But you can see it's plus. Pretty amazing. We didn't have to set up any webhooks at all. Autumn just handled it like a pro. And now you can also cancel plan, and it will all be prorated and stuff. So yeah, it will say your subscription 2 plus will end on this date. It's all handled gracefully. You do not need to really worry about anything. That's plans. Now you can actually go ahead into your application and filter the users based on the plan. So you can restrict access to people based on the plan name or plan ID. But isn't that ideal? Which we just created all these features. We probably should be able to use those, right? So let me just go back here and let me go to our features. There is themes one. I want to actually see if they're allowed to use themes. So actually I'm going to go ahead and copy this one. So I'm going to copy this code right here. This is a use query hook, and I'm going to import. This is actually, we're not going to import check. We're actually going to just use check right here. And I'm going to replace this with themes. And we're going to see p themes, actually not usage, but this should be themes, refetch themes. And we're going to say themes dot data dot allowed. That's the only thing we need. If that's yes, it's gonna say yes, or it's gonna say no. It says no. Amazing. I don't know why. Let me go ahead and console log this out. Console.log themes.data.allowed. Save this, and actually hold on. Let me just go to console here. And let's go check WhatsApp. It says false, which is, did we actually provision the plus plan with the feature? No, we didn't. That's why you see the power of features, right? You can simply remove a feature from a plan and add it to some other feature, to other plan, and you won't need to touch your code base at all, which is really amazing. So I'm gonna add the feature themes here. I'm gonna update the product, type plus to continue. It will be immediately. You can migrate existing customer to the new version after. Okay, I don't know if that's the best thing to do, but I guess we will try this out if it works or not. Okay, it still says no, so I think this is something where they can improve on. But okay, let me just go back to the dashboard. I'm gonna go to customers, and I'm gonna actually go ahead and cancel the subscription right now. Cancel immediately. I think this actually makes sense. I was actually going more over exaggerating on this, but what it means is that if somebody pays for some feature, they probably should be getting that feature, and you cannot just revoke it from them anytime. And I guess that makes sense, but you can actually revoke them from the code base, but I guess that's just trying to be more compliant, I guess. So if I go ahead and upgrade now, upgrade to plus, you will hand payment will be charged immediately. It's probably because they already have my card details. So let's see. So yeah, current plan themes are still no, which is very interesting. All right, so there was some problem with using React query and stuff, so probably that's why it happened. But now I'm curious if it will just if I just remove that feature from that plan, will it work or not? So let me just go ahead and remove this feature from the plan. In the plus plan, we can simply just remove the themes one and update the product. Let's see if it removes for this customer. So it's done. Let's go back. No. Okay, it's not updated, so it just, okay, I get it now. I get it. It took a bit of time, but I get it now. So if I go to plus, if I actually go to my customers, if I remove this plan now, and if I make it resubscribe again, cancel immediately, and if I attach a product, by the way, you can also charge from here. So I can attach the product to the customer here, and I can charge the customer, and they will have the subscription now. And if I go back, now it's gonna say themes no, because I do not have that feature anymore. Now if I just add it back again, it's gonna be the same thing again. So products plus feature, it's gonna be themes, add items, update product plus. Perfect. Yeah, it's gonna say no, and if I just re-add the plan to them, it's just gonna work. So I guess the theory was correct. It's probably because they like to keep things from like like to make sure that people don't feel scammed if the features get taken away. So you can have something like from the next cycle you will be getting this feature, from the next cycle these feature will be removed, so that would be more easier to handle. So yeah, now you can see there's themes. We can charge the customer now. Perfect. And if we go back, that will turn to yes. And now we actually want to go ahead and try out the track one. It sucks that the use query one didn't work. I had to use use effect, but it's fine. Actually I should be just removing this and use customer. It's fine. Okay, now we actually need to go ahead and use the track one. So typically this should be in the API route. If you are doing something really, like on the API sort of thing, this should be on that side, but it's fine if you like have some kind of client side features that's not really that big of a thing, but if you still want to track that, you can do that. I just want to show you how you can do that. So there's a track function that is here. So sometimes you might also want to track from client side, to be honest, but yeah, it is exploitable. But if your output depends on this, please do it on server. I also want to show you just how to do this. So you have use effect. Sorry, we don't need a use effect. We just need a const handle track, and we just say track, and I'm just gonna pass in the feature ID. Can we actually go ahead and import that feature? Oh no, that's in the server actually. So we just need to pass the ID here. So in the feature, we can actually do that in the server as well. You can actually have that file in server. It's completely fine. Premium API calls, it's actually called as premium API calls. I'm gonna copy this, paste this. I'm gonna have a new button track, and yeah, and also gonna have a button premium API calls. I actually need to check that as well. So fetch premium API calls dot data dot balance, and yeah, what is this? So is okay, so as number, I guess. Yeah, that works. So if we go here, it says premium API calls no, for whatever reason. Okay, no, this should be just premium API calls. I'm sorry. Perfect. The thing is, now it's not showing the correct balance, which is kind of annoying. Oh yeah, we just had to use the function here. Just I keep forgetting stuff. So if you go back, and we will just see that we have 5 API calls remaining. If we click on track, it should be reduced by 1. So if I just reload, it should be 4 now, which is, sorry for that. It should be 4 now, which is really amazing. And I'm actually gonna also try to do this on the server side. So if we go to the routers, if I go and say track event or something like that, track protected and tracked, I'm just gonna say that. So yeah, we use the Autumn backend SDK, which is basically from the same package. We just use Autumn as Autumn here, and we just say autumn.track because we already have the environment variable thing in the like env with the correct name, so it automatically gets that. And we just do customer ID, feature ID. We just pass the customer ID from BetterAuth because we already have a BetterAuth integration. So yeah, now we can simply just call this track event. So I'm just gonna say this is track event, and I'm gonna go to the front end itself, and I'm gonna go ahead and say I think this should be a mutation, right? This should not be. Yeah, perfect, thank you. So we can simply just do yeah, track event, use mutation, which is something wrong. Yeah, we should be using use mutation instead. So use mutation, and yeah, I'm just gonna say mutate track event dot mutation options mutation. Yeah, after fighting with cursor tab, I just did it manually. So just use mutation trpc dot track event dot mutation option. If you're using an API route, that would be a little bit different, but doesn't really matter. And we're just having a button which just track event and which calls it on server. We are also naming the button as track event server. If you go back here, we can simply go ahead and click this, and if you want, you can also go ahead and refetch that, and I don't really want to do that right now. But if we reload, it says 3. If we do again, it says 2. If we do again, it says 1. If we do again, it says 0. And if we keep doing this, it says -1, -2, which means that your balance is in negative and you're being charged for it. So I want to actually go ahead and see in Autumn dashboard, if this customer is paying us everything. It says balance is -5, and next reset is this date. So this user is probably going to get charged 500 rupees because we added 100 rupees per request after that. So yeah, that's how it's working. And you can actually see all the events of that user here as well, which is pretty amazing. And yeah, you can actually go ahead and look up that customer on Stripe as well. I'm not going to cover that in this tutorial because I have a ton of Stripe accounts. I don't even remember which I have connected to this, but you can feel free to do that. So yeah, that's it for this video. I hope this video taught you something new, and I hope this encourages you to use Autumn pricing because it makes payments a lot more easier with Stripe. Stripe is a headache, and I really wish you don't handle Stripe directly and use something like Autumn. If you have any questions about Autumn, let me know that in the comments below, and you probably should also connect with them on the socials as well. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and also let me know any content ideas you have in the comments down below, anything you want to see. And I'm always looking for content ideas, so yeah, feel free to let me know. So yeah, that's it for this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.